Good morning. Today is Tuesday of Holy Week. It's day 3, and some people refer to this Tuesday as Busy Tuesday. I think if I was to find out that I only had days to live, there are certain things that I would want to squeeze into the next 72 hours, maybe more. People call this their bucket list, experiences or events that they would like to do, that they'd like to experience before they die. And Jesus, knowing that he only has a few days left here on earth, he doesn't waste any time, but he uses this day, this busy Tuesday, to share more and more about the kingdom of heaven. And Matthew assigns 4 chapters to this particular day, and we read about the parables that Jesus shares. We can find these in Matthew, from Matthew 22 all the way through to Matthew 25. But today, on this busy Tuesday, I want to look at another story, a story that we can all relate to, one side or the other. It's the story of Mary and Martha in Martha's house. And we're going to be looking at the Ignatian contemplation exercise. And this is, if you remember from our small group a few years back, where we enter into a story. Again, the beauty of this is that we can trust that God is going to use the imagination that he's gifted us with, along with our memories and our feelings, to draw us closer to him and for us to understand a little bit more about his nature. The other beautiful thing about Ignatian contemplation is that there's a personal interaction with Jesus that takes place, and that is so special. So I would encourage you to have a Bible ready and to turn to Matthew 26, where we're looking at the story of Mary and Martha. And this is how Ignatian contemplation goes. We start by just saying a prayer. Father, thank you for your grace today. I desire to know you more, and I freely invite you to lead me and order my thoughts, my memories, and my actions. May I know the joy that comes from revelation through the imagination you have given me, so that I can praise you and love others well today. So we're going to be reading this story slowly a couple of times. The first time we're going to read it, and then I want you to visualize yourself in the story. Stick with the imagery that's been given and allow your imagination to enjoy things like smell and touch. What do you see and hear? What do you taste? And then I want you to consider, what part of the story are you drawn to? Do you connect with a particular character, or are you a bystander that is watching on and looking at the interactions that unfold? Now we're going to read the passage a second time, but this time it's from the perspective of the character that God has just led you to. And we can talk with Jesus in the story this time. Jesus, why do I feel this way? Lord, what are you saying to me through this interaction? Jesus, this story reminds me of a time when or what aspects of this story relate to my life today? The beauty of this process, Ignatian contemplation, is that we get to encounter a very personal interaction with Jesus, where he speaks to us by name, not Mary or Martha, but Esther or Pat or John or Matthew. And we can look into his eyes and we can be there in that moment. And the Father God, is just drawing us closer to him to understand a bit more about his nature. And so again, this process, the template of Ignatian contemplation and the verses that we're going to be looking at, are available on the link below somewhere. And I just encourage you to take some time today on what is known as Busy Tuesday to spend time with Jesus, spend time in this really precious story. I've named this the treasured better. At the end of this story, Jesus says to Martha, Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her. When we spend time with Jesus, we are storing up these treasures in heaven. They're eternal. It's the treasured better